Welcome to another edition of the Sultan of Small Talk. I'm Chris Carbone. Today we're going to talk about the power of popularity. Stay tuned, you're going to dig this.
I'm Chris Carbone. How you doing, dudes? I am the Sultan of Small Talk.
See how popular I am?
I love you.
But before you even ask it, I'll answer the question that's on your mind. What does this popularity thing have anything to do with business, Chris? We're not in high school anymore, and thank God, that's for sure, because I don't even need the Clearasil like I used to. What I can tell you is this. It's more about being really liked and being the person that's appealing, considering all of the options on the business landscape. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Some of the attributes that you could probably zero in on and maybe hone a bit better so that you were the one that they're thinking about when it comes time to do business. As I think about it, I can't think of one possible reason why I was so unpopular in 8th grade. Maybe this will shed some light. Do you see this outfit? I thought I looked hot. Now, I am going to tell you something that's going to give you a little bit of concern. There's going to be some groans. I can feel it. One thing you got to do is stay as upbeat and as positive in life as possible. I mean, almost let it exude from your skin. Now, at first, it's going to be very uncomfortable if you're not an upbeat person just naturally. You're almost going to feel disingenuous doing it, but I can tell you this, even if it's got to be forced a bit, but you got to smile and you got to grin and bear it or whatever they say, I think you're going to find that things will start to happen, almost like magic, where some of the things that you most want for are going to just be attracted to you, kind of like the laws of the universe type of thing. Think about it for a second. Let's say you're conditioned to hang out with people, we'll call them negative Nathans for this example, who's always thinking about the most pessimistic ways to look at life. And they're always bringing you down and talking about how life can't happen that way, or everyone's shorting them, or there are just not enough opportunities in the world. And then comparatively to that, think about the person who just lights up the room, the person who just smiles and everything seems to be glowing around them, and they're always thinking about the positive. That person is going to have that many more friends. They're just going to be much more popular. People are going to enjoy and embrace their company as compared to the Nathan in that example. Try not to be Nathan. Another important attribute is to embrace humility. People are going to want to congratulate you or thank you for a job well done. And I think what's best is being as humble as possible about it. It's definitely a more likable characteristic if you can actually bolster other people, especially when you're on a team. Even if you were very much the driving force or a very important component to what made that a successful situation, it's always best if the people around you, your teammates, get the praise. Because taking the credit isn't exactly all that important. People who have low self-worth oftentimes feel like they need to take all the credit, but it normally goes really badly for them in terms of their likability. And along those same lines, no one really wants someone to be brash. Humble is always a much more appropriate response. Interestingly enough, when you elevate those around you, you actually elevate yourself as well, in terms of in the eyes of the person who's watching. So, win-win! I like when somebody can have like a self-deprecating outlook on life. Don't take yourself so seriously. In fact, another thing to do is to show your vulnerability. All of us have flaws. All of us have challenges. And that's normal. That's human. And many people just want to deflect it and fake people out like they don't have those types of flaws, when realistically, we all do. And that's just making us human. So I think it's always best to maybe poke fun at yourself and acknowledge some of your flaws and let somebody know that you're feeling a bit vulnerable, because they're going to appreciate you. In fact, they're going to see you as a peer and someone they can really identify with. That's half of it, is finding ways to communicate with people while showing that you're similar much more than you are different. And when you can build those connections, or what I call bridges, among another person or another group of people, you're just always going to be the person that they think of intuitively because you're so relatable. Leading a genuine life, I have found, is so much better than trying to fake people out or make them feel that everything is always going well. Sometimes in life, especially in business, things aren't going to go perfectly. Sometimes you try to knock it out of the ballpark and you hardly bunt it down first base. And sometimes things just fail. When those things happen, I've come to realize that the honest approach and being straight with the person who's not going to love hearing the news, but they sure will appreciate hearing from you straight away as soon as it's happening, is always better. Because we are human. I guess that's coming through as a theme here. People just want to relate to people who are just like them. And if we're flawed, then we have to acknowledge those flaws. But I love living an honest life without the deception. I tried it the other way, trying to say the things that I thought they'd always want to hear. But we know that that doesn't always work, especially when something has gone really awry. And paving a bunch of different white lies, trying to cover up for things, just won't work. So be honest, be true to yourself, and be true to the person. And what happens is there's a refreshing element of this. When you're always into communicating honestly and that person understands it, they're going to ask you honest and difficult questions, but they know they're going to get an answer and a response that's going to be just as purely honest. And I think they're going to enjoy that so much better than just a canned response. One guy who's always been pretty popular, definitely making good headlines in business, is Warren Buffett, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway and billionaire. Anyhow, I think we should all take a note from his book. And one thing he says is, let's delight the client. If you could wake up every morning thinking about how you're going to delight your clients, and then as you're working that day, continue thinking about how you can just delight those clients, not satisfy them, not meet their needs, but truly delight them, that's going to go a long way. And going to sleep dreaming about it, that's going to help you. Because when you think about it, if you've got a treasure trove of clients that are happy and delighted, you are going to be not only popular, but you're also going to probably be pretty wealthy. If you're anything like me, and I hope you are, because then you can relate, you don't have all that many attributes, but you got one or two, so exploit them. For me, it's a sense of humor. I've always been able to make friends pretty easily, mostly because I try to grab them with a sense of humor. And just being identified that way seems to help out. So if you got a sense of humor, don't be afraid to use it. It normally brings people's defenses down, allows them to open up a bit. And when you get them laughing, you can pretty much get them signing documents or whatever else you're into. Anyhow, this is the Sultan of Small Talk. Hope these ideas are going to help you be more successful in business. Now, I can tell you this is just a small list, and this is not all-encompassing, but what I'd love to know are some of your comments as well. If you like what you're seeing here, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? If you subscribe and hit the bell notification, you will be notified as soon as we put out another video every Monday. But what I want to hear from you is some of your thoughts. What are some things that I didn't include in this list but are absolutely mission critical and imperative to you? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And you're going to hear another video from me every Monday.
You can't see my feet still holding to the ground, right? Good. Oh, sorry. Let's do a little calisthenics. I'm pretty sure these 3 different insignias just mean I'm freaking lost. I have no idea where we are. Tanner!
I'm right here.
Okay.
Right back.